If you're a mom with littles at home, you know the all too familiar stress of getting to the end of the day or even multiple days and realizing that you didn't accomplish any of the things that you want to do. It's exhausting and frustrating, but it doesn't have to be this way. I used to end every single day wondering where the time went and why literally nothing on my list got done. I'd be busy all day long, constantly moving, constantly doing things, but at the end of it, I had nothing meaningful to show for it. So I started trying to figure out what actually works for getting things done with toddlers around. And today I'm sharing my realistic approach that's genuinely changed how I function during the day. Let's get into it. The absolute first thing that I do, and this is a non-negotiable, is to fill their tank. So before I even think about my to-do list, I make sure that they've had a meal or snack because hangry toddlers are chaos. So I'm trying not to work against that. Next, quality time with you. And I mean actual attention, not just being in the same room while you're mentally somewhere else. This might look like sitting on the floor and playing with them for 10 to 15 minutes, reading a book together, or just chatting about their stuffed animals or whatever they're into. The point is that they get you fully present before you shift into other tasks. And then this one's huge. They need to expel some of that energy. So get them moving, outside time if possible, but even just dancing in the living room, wrestling, whatever suits your fancy, just something to help them expel some of that energy because toddlers have so much energy. And if you don't give them the chance to burn off at least a little bit of it, good luck having them kind of sit still and try to independently play for even 5 minutes. When their basic needs are met, so they have been fed, they have connected with you, and they're physically tired, you are helping give yourself a fighting chance to be able to get something done. Skip this step and you're basically setting yourself up to fail. So now that your toddler's tank is full, let's talk about you. The biggest mistake I used to make was having like 5 million things that I technically could do and then just being completely scattered because I didn't know where to start. I'd bounce between tasks and end up getting literally nothing done. So before I even start trying to do anything, I survey the land. I look at what actually needs to happen today. What's the most important? What has been stressing me out the most? As I go around, I make a list of all the things that could potentially get done. And then this is the key. I pick 1 or 2 of the most important tasks that I can realistically do in about 15 minutes or make decent progress in. Because here's the reality. Toddlers might tolerate independent play for 15 minutes and they might not. So having that flexibility and having a clear direction is so beneficial. This prep takes maybe 5 minutes, but it's the difference between a scattered, chaotic day and actually feeling like I have accomplished something meaningful. You're prepped, they're fed and happy, but here's where most people get stuck. How do you actually keep a toddler occupied long enough to get anything done? So here's what's worked for me. I set up some sort of activity. Some examples of this could be playing with magnetic tiles, building blocks. It's crazy the amount of things that you can accomplish with open-ended toys and simple things like masking tape. Google can also be your friend in figuring out some of these easy activities. And here's a sneaky trick. You can also rotate toys. So pull out something they haven't seen in a while or don't usually have access to. This novelty helps buy you extra time because they're actually interested in it. And the key here is also variety. So if you use the same thing every single day, they're going to get bored of that activity or that plaything. So mix it up and you'll get longer stretches of independent play. And before we actually talk about executing your tasks, I need to address the elephant in the room, nap time. You might be thinking, what about nap time? Isn't that when I should be getting all the things done? But here's my hot take. If you're relying on nap time to be productive, you are setting yourself up for frustration because nap time is so unpredictable. Some days it's 2 hours long, some days it's 30 minutes, and some days it doesn't happen at all. So instead of banking on nap time, I use it as bonus time. If nap time happens and I've already gotten my 1 or 2 important tasks done, amazing! I can either tackle something bigger or actually rest. And I don't have to feel bad about it. But if nap time is my only plan for productivity and it doesn't happen or it's cut short, now I'm stressed and behind and feeling like a failure. Nap time is great when it works, but don't make it your only strategy. That's why learning to work in these short windows while they're awake is so important. It takes the pressure off of nap time being perfect. And real quick, I need to say this because I've struggled with it for so long and still sometimes do. Your version of productivity with toddlers at home is going to look completely different than it did before kids. And that's not a failure. Before kids, maybe you could power through a huge to-do list in one afternoon. Now, getting the dishes done and maybe responding to that text from a few days ago, that's a productive day and it counts. Stop comparing yourself to your pre-kid self or to people without littles at home. You're working with different constraints, and you need to redefine what getting things done actually means in this season. And here's something else I had to accept. Being productive is important to us as moms. We want to feel capable and accomplished, but our kids really need our time and attention in this season more than they need a spotless house or a checked off to-do list. They're only little ones. So yes, we're going to get things done, but we're doing it in a way that doesn't sacrifice the connection they actually need from us. Let go of the guilt and celebrate the small wins. The laundry and the dishes will always be there. Some days this works beautifully. Some days it only kind of works, and some days it's complete chaos, and we're only focused on surviving the day, which is still a huge feat in itself, might I remind you. But even on the hard days, attempting to do a few of these things helps. Filling their tank, which honestly helps fill mine too, by not constantly jumping into overwhelmed task completion mode. Writing down what actually matters so that I can get a quick win. Seizing those 5-minute windows instead of waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing something. That's what keeps you moving forward. And when you approach productivity this way, it actually feels sustainable instead of overwhelming. If you want to set your day up for success from the moment you wake up, check out my morning routine video here or another recommended video here. Thanks for being here. Until next time.